Patterns you need to be paying attention to during COVID-19. Stay tuned, promise you, it'll be worth it. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Properties TV. So glad you could join me here today. It is day 61 of quarantine life. I'm still semi-counting, and we're officially 2 months into self-isolation since the announcement of the state of emergency. Even I'm getting a little bit tired of reporting onto like the COVID-19 stuff. It's getting a little bit stale and already kind of feels like the new norm already. But because I've talked into normality and like I promised, I will continue providing you guys the updates so that you guys know what's going on in the market. So it's kind of weird, but you know what? I'm gonna still continue doing it because it's something that I think provides enough value for a lot of you, okay? So in today's update, I'm gonna quickly go over the numbers I've been doing like I've been doing in the last 2 months, but I wanna talk about some other things I'm also seeing and hearing right now because the numbers are the numbers and we'll pay attention to, but there are some patterns that you should definitely note that I've noticed that you should pay attention to. But before we get started, you know the drill. Gathering this information is labor-intensive work and it'll be much appreciated if you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the Prime Properties TV channel. Click on the bell so you know when we put stuff up because we do put a lot of information out there on random times now that's COVID-19. So if you guys have some questions you want me to answer relating to COVID-19 and the currency of the market, you can leave them in the comment section below, or I'll leave my email here for you guys email me so that I can do like a massive like mailbag FAQ kind of question. So for week 10 of tracking, you can see on the screen, I think on the side, we're really kind of about the same. We got a little bit more listings, a little surge of it to almost 600. We got 20 more sales last week, but all in all, the weeks of inventory has still been hovering around 2 and 3. I have a bet going off Arnie on the team that by the end of May, we won't be hitting over 400 sales a week. I took the under because I was like, even though we see these like minor upticks, I don't think it's substantial enough for us to get to 400 by the end of May, right? Unless the lockdown is really going to get much loose after long weekend and May 2-4 like that, Ford was saying. But who knows? No one knows, right? So I'm optimistic that things will be better, but I'm hoping for it to resume. But I'm also not that optimistic it will resume that quickly. Now, if you look at the chart here, I've mapped out the last 10 weeks of inventory. And you can see that like when we started, those like ups and downs in the first 4 weeks, but it's kind of leveled off, like I was saying, right? We're hovering around 2 and 3. And I really suspect this is gonna basically be the new norm for real estate for the foreseeable future until the lockdown is kind of lifted, right? Here are the micro market numbers. Condos, same thing, sales are increasing again, very minorly. Days on market's about the same. Listing percentage has more or less remained the same, so I can chalk it up as 2. No real changes. Although it is kind of cool that we're officially over 100 sales a week in Toronto now. That's what it is for what it is. Towns, same thing, just a handful of properties, nothing to talk about. I'm gonna go really quickly through this, and if you really want to have a look at the numbers, just pause to have an in-depth look. I'm just going quicker because there's nothing new to report here. Slow news day, if you will. Semis, basically the same thing as last week, nothing to report here. Detaches, nothing to report here as well. Basically the same thing as last week. So with respect to the numbers, they're quite eventful. So I want to talk to you guys about the patterns I'm noticing right now, okay? Not necessarily with the numbers per se, but more so from talking to clients who are looking to buy and sell and other agents who are still kind of operating right now, okay? The people who are selling, and this is a pattern I've noticed, is they're not really motivated to sell at a loss. Okay, it's pretty obvious, and you wouldn't want it either. You're selling, but then what I've noticed is that there's a lot of people who've asked me like test the market. Try selling the property, try selling it exclusively. But the expectation is that if they don't get a number that's in line with like what the prices are pre-COVID-19, so like early March or February, then they're not selling, right? Then you have the buyers who are on the other side of it who are expecting a substantial discount because of COVID-19, and they basically refuse to pay for a property unless they get a steep discount. So like a common question I'm always asking them is like, well, what's your definition of a discount, right? Are your expectations of a discount being at 1%, 2%, 5%, 10%, 50%? Every buyer wants a deal. Anything you want to buy, you want a deal. But I'm hard pressed to find any deals out there at like, those percentages other than like 1 or 2. But oddly enough, I participated in 2 multiple offers this weekend in the situation, one being in a detached home in Ajax and one being at an entry-level condo in North York. So I think the combination of like both holding patterns from the seller side and the buyer side is kind of like causing stagnation, right? It's because nobody's overly motivated to do anything really, right? So I expect this to continue until the lockdown is kind of lifted, kind of like what I was saying in the beginning of the video, right? Some other interesting tidbits I'll also tell you is that between all the listings I have, the properties are listed kind of post-COVID-19 price properties, they have showings, right? Not a lot showings, but showings nonetheless. But the properties that are listed like pre-COVID-19 prices, expecting, like I was saying with the sellers, they have like 0 to 1 showings a week. And that's expected because I think that's what's contributing to the fact that, sellers aren't motivated and buyers are looking for a deal. And because of this, it's kind of like a giant game of chicken between the two. Like this is something that I saw in the 905 market back in 2017, like specifically the freehold market after the foreign buyer tax. And I would say that it wasn't really until I'd say like end of 2019, early 20 when we saw the buyer demand come back into the 905 freehold market. And then obviously this came in. So let's see how long this game of chicken between the buyers and the sellers lasts, okay? One other pattern I'll be looking out for is definitely the amount of showings and listings, as there are more conversations about removing the state of emergency. I did look at the broker bay numbers. I can put it on my screen for you guys. You can see that we're definitely having more showings right now than we have in the last few weeks. Minor dip in Mother's Day because, Mother's Day. But, that's really it for your COVID-19 update. So if you guys have any questions regarding COVID-19 you want me to kind of go over or any concerns, just leave them in the comment section below, or you can shoot me an email. Maybe I'll do a mailbag question next video, okay? So until next time, wash your hands, stay safe, your move, your future. See ya. Now that you're done watching this one, how about this one? Oh, you know what? This one's good too. Ooh, this one's really good. You know what? Just watch them both.